Food insecurity is a very common situation that a lot of people face in the community around here and in Rhode Island. It's such a large problem. The stats speak for themselves. I mean, just how many people in this community experience this?
Meredith, it's actually 1 in 3 households with children in the state of Rhode Island that are experiencing food insecurity, which means on a consistent basis, they can't afford to feed the family the amount of food they need.
Wow, that's, I mean, and not to say, even though the show right now is closer to the holidays, but this insecurity happens throughout the year. And now you guys have a record of distribution agencies that help you distribute the food. Tell us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So the challenge is year-round. The food bank, through its network of member agencies, serves over 82,000 Rhode Islanders a month. We have 147 agencies that are located across the state, and the food bank serves as the central distribution for those agencies.
Okay.
So we get the food to them, and they get the food in the hands of those who need it.
It's such a common problem, and for anybody who's watching this and thinking, I am someone whose family is experiencing food insecurity, what is the easiest way for them to seek assistance in this way?
Sure. So right on our website, there is a big link that says Find Food. And that page has a map of the entire state. You can enter in where you're located, and it shows the nearest food pantries, meal sites, and other distribution programs.
Makes it nice and simple for the people.
Yeah.
It's nice and simple, and our agencies welcome everyone. Folks don't have to provide a lot of documentation or proof that they need help. They can go in and get help as soon as they need it.
Now, speaking of help, now are there people who can come in to help if they want to get involved in this?
Yeah, so the best way for folks to help us out at the food bank is with donations.
Donations, very
We
good.
actually purchase a lot of the food that we distribute. It helps us to, get a better price on the food. We buy from wholesalers and distributors at a low cost. It helps us get more, and it helps us acquire healthy, culturally relevant foods that people want to serve their families.
Okay.
So the best way to support our efforts is to make a donation.
That's honestly, something that a lot of people don't think about. The cultural differences in how people eat and whatnot. But also, what do you think it is that's making food insecurity become ever increasingly common, more and more common?
Yeah,
right now.
Honestly, it's the cost of everything right now. If you think of your last trip to the grocery store, it's leveling off a little bit at this point, but it's still, the prices are so high. And when you couple that with other costs of living, rent, heating, think of your last electric bill. It's like sort of mind-blowing. And then imagine you're making minimum wage. It's getting increasingly difficult for families to make ends meet. And we're seeing more and more guests who are using pantry services for the very first time.
Absolutely. And I think, food insecurity is something that it spreads far and wide here, but especially around the holidays, if anyone's watching this and, thinks of this as a cause near and dear to their heart, they should definitely donate to such an important cause.
For sure.
Speaking of which, donations, and for those who are in the insecurity on that portion, how do they get a hold of you? How does someone find you guys, websites or anything like that?
So it's rifoodbank.org.
Okay.
And it's that Find Food button that will get people to the pantry closest to them so that they can go get support.
A super important topic, and around the holidays, people are thinking about ways that they can give back. So great timing to have you on the show, Kate. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Up next on Locally New England, we sit down with attorney Stephen J. Dennis. All that and more on Locally New England.